So love became hate, okay? Or our false idea of love, okay? Putting someone on a pedestal, making them very special, rather than having a whole eye relationship, seeing it with your whole eye, the eye that's connected to God. It takes a while to sink in, but it comes pretty quickly if we follow the study as well.
I'm a person that needs some sort of logic, and it makes sense.
You know what?
It makes sense.
Even
though it's really, I don't know, abstract, it makes sense.
Yes.
We've just labeled all these things.
We have. And it's all in the...
And a lot of it's good. It's very convenient for us to all know that that's a flat screen. We know what we're talking about. But putting emotions to things that don't necessarily need an emotional bond anymore.
And Deepak Chopra says emotion is the glue that keeps the memory in place. Okay? Now the past is simply a current thought. The past is gone. So whatever we're thinking about the past is simply a current thought in this present moment, right? So because it is only that, we have the ability to change our thought, okay? Change our mind about that situation. Because if you really examine your past, there's every memory that you have is glued in there by an emotion you attach to it. So if you can change your
like
emotion,
your hometown, you go back and that building's not there, that house has been renovated.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of went through that about a month ago almost. I had to go visit. I went to Denver to visit my parents. My sister was having some physical problems, and so I had to go and assist my parents. And I was going there, and the neighborhood was different. I went downtown, and downtown was, and we just left there just about a year ago.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
A year ago. We just left there a year ago, and I was just like,
changed.
It just changed.
But you know what? You have changed.
Yeah.
So the picture you're seeing
Yeah,
is changed.
In your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not exactly
Right.
photographed it the way you...
Because it's all been through perception, seeing through the conditioned consciousness, okay? So the course is designed to bring us past perception, where you're no longer perceiving, you're seeing the reality which is behind what was the perception. The truth is, reality is always behind the so-called seeming false evidence to the contrary, okay? Because this is only false evidence which is blocking reality. And that mist, as it dissolves, you start seeing God's kingdom on earth, in heaven, if you like, heaven on earth, right here, because there's no place else, it's right here, okay? You're always here in the now, and we are always, the body's always in the now, right, Linda? It's always in the now. So we can change everything about the body in the now, because whatever we think, other than it being beautiful, perfect, magnificent creation of God, if we think, oh, I've got a lousy foot today or an ache here, that's not true. That's just a thought, a conditioned thought. So we can heal. The body heals itself when we take away all our false thinking about it. This works, doesn't it? She demonstrates it over and over again. And I've done many demonstrations too. Not quite as many as Linda, because she's been on raw food longer than I have too. So
well, I've known that sickness has no substance to it. That's basically the truth. I don't know that it is such a big thing about what you eat, but it definitely makes a difference as to, the substance of God that is making up who you are. Right?
That just makes sense.
And Jesus said, take no thought for what goes into your mouth. No, take no thought for what you eat. It's not what goes into a man's mouth, but what comes out of it that defileth him. We defile.
Well, the old saying used to be, you are what you eat.
Same thing.
But if you look at it through the Course's eyes, you are what you think about what you eat.
There you go.
Exactly.
That That is
That
right
is, yeah.
on.
I know
That's
people
rounded
that are
out
so
beautifully.
diet obsessed that if they do treat themselves to a little ice cream or something,
Oh.
they
The
go
guilt consumes them, and
guilt.
then they project the guilt.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't be too
it's-
rigid.
And not only that, but you are also creating all kinds of endorphins and all kinds of adrenaline and thyroxine and everything to make it very toxic, right? Just out of the guilt and the
So the
fear
guilt
that you
makes it
have.
more toxic than
Oh,
the actual
absolutely.
substance.
Oh,
It
oh,
paralyzes you.
Totally, totally.
When you know better and you don't do better, you create a really guilt-ridden experience with your body. And very toxic environment. And why would you ask the Holy Spirit to come into and dwell within that body that is full of toxicity?
That is just so, that's a great thing.
But it's more your thoughts than your,
Well, there's no sentiment expressed, no words expressed without a thought behind it.
Yeah.
right,
It's always, everything really is mental and spiritual because the body itself is in mind, okay? It's in mind. Okay? It's in human consciousness, but it's in divine consciousness because the real body is in divine consciousness, it is spiritual. And as Linda often says, we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, not spiritual beings having a human experience.